Is Google blocking the ad blockers, ladies and gentlemen? Now, this is a pretty heavy title here, okay? And you might have seen this Reddit post, some news articles, which are talking about Google confirms they will disable uBlock Origin in Chrome in 2024. Now, uBlock Origins is one of the most popular ad blocking extensions available across the world right now. Now, we've talked about how YouTube basically inadvertently strengthened ad blockers a few days ago, but today we're looking at a bit of information regarding Google Chrome, Google itself, possibly stopping or at least hindering massively these ad blocking tools that exist. Now, to understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a simple topic, okay? This is a pretty complicated topic, but I'm going to try to make this as layman's as I possibly can. So in this Reddit post, they say Google confirms they will disable MV2 extensions, including uBlock Origins, okay? So what is an MV2 extension? Let's go over what Google says here. So this is from developer.chrome.com. They said that they are resuming the transition to Manifest version 3. And this was posted November 16th, 2023. So December of last year, they said they paused a planned depreciation of Manifest version 2 in order to address developer feedback and deliver better solutions to migration issues. So here they mentioned 4 exact points, such as off-screen documents. They provide better control over service worker lifetimes, adding a new user's script API. But what's important for us here is improving content filtering support by providing more generous limits in the declarative net request API. So you might be like, whoa, that's a lot of fancy words, Mudo. What's going on right over here? So to give you an idea what Manifest is, according to Google, Manifest v3, or Manifest in general, is basically a rule set that describes changes or how specific core functionalities work in Chrome extensions in regards to specific APIs. So again, they update these with the motivation of increasing security, privacy, and performance. Again, this is all related to extensions. So again, to give you an idea what a Chrome extension is, obviously some of you probably have a web extension installed on your browser. Whether you're using Firefox, whether you're using Chrome, you probably have something installed, right? That adds extra functionality to your browser. So for instance, if you go to the Chrome store right now, you can access uBlock Origins, right? Don't use this on YouTube because apparently it's violating their TOS. Just warning you right there. You've also got things like Volume Master, something as simple as downloading an extension, adding it, that allows you to increase the volume of tabs past 100%, okay? So they can be really simple. They can be tabs that record your screen for you, annotate the web, basically do a bunch of things that you want. Do you want to add some extra games to your browser? You can, if you really felt like it. Do you want to add things like news extensions? You can, if you feel like it. That's generally what an extension does. Now, Manifest v3 has been criticized for years. Remember, this is not new. This didn't just come out 3 days ago. We've actually been debating this for years now. And massive organizations like the Electronic Frontier Foundation have been claiming that it hurts privacy, security, and innovation. So to understand, developers are pissed about this. So again, even from October 29, 2021, you have developers saying, frankly, I'm at a loss for words. I understand the benefits of service workers for websites. They make sense. It needs a persistent background page when these sessions are active. It's a corporate security product. There's simply no way to replicate its behavior with Manifest v3. There's no way to implement web request blocking and on-auth required. So again, you are seeing web request blocking constantly mentioned, and developers are not having a good day talking about this. So let's discuss what that specific web request is called. Now, this is chrome.webrequest, and according to Chrome, it is an API that observes and analyzes traffic and to intercept, block, and request modifications in flight. So the reason for this existing, and the reason why this is so important for ad blockers, is it allows ad blockers to, obviously, as you're loading a page, observe what servers you're hitting. Remember the last time we talked about ad blockers and YouTube? I told you about ad networks all over the world? Well, a massive amount of ad networks belong to places like Google, Amazon, and Facebook. How ad blockers work is in the middle of that traffic in flight, they analyze all of the domains you communicate, and they basically remove all of the ad blocking domains. So all you see on the page is the website that you initially requested, not advertisements from domains that aren't even related to the website. Now, this is both a double-edged sword. To understand why this is dangerous as well too, according to Google, this exact technology can be used for bad purposes, such as stealing your information. So like a lot of extensions that exist to block your ads, there can be extensions that are malicious that are designed to inject ads into your page using that same API. Malicious advertising, or they're designed to steal your credentials, or possibly launch some cryptocurrency mining on your system. Remember, when you're installing an extension on your browser, you better 100% trust it, or it can actually steal your information or change what you see on your web page because you gave it permissions that you shouldn't have. So Google has actually used this as justification to change it to something known as a declarative net request, which is a new API that they have. So what Google says is there's been a lot of confusion and misconception around both the motivations and implications of this change, including speculation that these changes were designed to prevent or weaken ad blockers. That is absolutely not the goal. In fact, this change gives developers a way to create safer and more performant ad blockers, they say. So again, the declarative net request is an API used to block or modify network requests by specifying declarative rules. This lets extensions modify network requests without intercepting them and viewing their content, thus providing, as Google says, more privacy in their developer sheet, okay? What's insane is when you look at Google's own Form 10K, their SEC filings, over here they do write one of the risky parts of their business, such as risk factors. We generate a significant portion of our revenues from advertising and reduce spending by advertisers. A loss of partners or new and existing technologies that block ads online and or affect our ability to customize ads could harm our business. So they actually talk about how they generate 80% of their total revenue from the display of ads in the year 2021. Many of our advertisers, companies that distribute our products and services, digital publishers, content providers, can terminate their contracts with us at any time. These partners may not continue to do business with us if we do not create more value, such as increasing the number of users or customers, new sales leads, brand awareness for all of their systems right now. And again, that can only happen if less people use AdBlock, because if they can't see the campaign, maybe Google's customers may choose not to do campaigns with them going on forward. Now, to understand, this has been a bit of a, I guess you could say, conflicting report. On one hand, Google's biggest service, YouTube, right now, says ad blockers are against their TOS. But Google, developing a massive web browsing platform, or at least spearheading it, claims that they don't want to stop ad blockers. In fact, they're designing tools that make ad block better. So again, I wanted to get the exact idea from the people behind AdBlock as well too. And there's been massive speculations there as well, which is all we really have. So for instance, VX Underground, they say, to be more specific and avoid confusion, Google Chrome is transitioning to Manifest v3. And while they say it improves content filtering support with that declarative net request, which can be used for many ad blocking plugins, Google states these changes are for API security concerns. Like I said, people using the original, the version 2, the web request for nefarious purposes. Google states these, again, many plugin developers express concern, uBlock as well, that this move to version 3 will render their plugins useless or non-functional. Despite this feedback, Google has stated that they're going to move forward irregardless. They're going to go head first. Some speculate this is an intentional move by Google due to suspected loss of ad revenue. And the thing is, no one really knows, okay? At the end of the day, Google is updating, and they claim it's for security, performance, and privacy. And again, there are some merits to it. Like I said, that original request, while it helped a lot of ad blockers, there were malicious extensions using those exact systems for bad purposes. But you can kind of look at the situation maybe as throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? Like, in order to kill that one security flaw, you end up ruining one of the biggest reasons that people install extensions in the first place, which is to block advertising. Or even if it's not blocking advertising, it's to increase your privacy and your control over the internet, right? That's one of the primary reasons. So again, I wanted to look further into what Google was doing, so I looked into a write-up from Ghostery, a very, very popular privacy-focused extension, and they actually talk about their specific perspective to Manifest version 3. So here they say that Manifest v3, which again, internet privacy is a constantly evolving domain, new trackers and new tracking techniques are uncovered every day. Ghostery publishes the world's largest trackers, and again, you can read this for yourself. Google is, according to these guys, 75% responsible for the trackers that exist on the web. After that comes Amazon by a pretty significant fucking margin. Then it comes Facebook, Cloudflare, Microsoft, Twitter, Comscore, Adobe, OneTrust. I think AOL was somewhere put into it, but yeah, that's a whole different story. Manifest v3. So, for instance, they say, does it protect privacy? Their TLDR is, with enforcement of v3, Google dramatically limits capabilities of browser extensions. It removes access to powerful APIs that allowed us to provide innovation in privacy protection. Being subject to those constraints, we may have to reinvent the way our extensions operate. Intended or not, Manifest v3 takes choice away from users, exposes them to new threats, and is ultimately hostile to you. So again, they definitely say that it affects them specifically because they have no access to the network layer. They have to use the declarative net request instead of the web request API, and of course service workers instead of background pages. So again, these guys have been in the game for a long time, and I'm going to trust what they say, especially when it comes to discussing privacy and matters of privacy over, again, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, really any FANG organization. So what they said about declarative net request is it was designed to replace web request. And while it was inspired by Safari's content blocking API, this design is actually less powerful than what Apple has. And comparing it to the web request API, it lacks the capabilities to inspect and modify requests. It is uncertain whether the DNR API in its current form will outperform state-of-the-art ad blockers. Expressing the rules in declarative format might include hidden abstraction costs. Some of the optimizations that went into specialized ad blocker engines might be hard to replicate in the browser. And again, this all kind of goes back to exactly how uBlock is discussing it. It's not that this is going to kill ad blockers. The best ad blockers in the business will obviously find countermeasures against it. But will it be as optimal as what we have now? Probably not. See, even Brave, so if you don't know Brave browser, it's the browser that I personally use. Again, no sponsorships, it's just what I use on a daily basis. They have said Google's upcoming Manifest v3 has the potential to break many ad blockers, and that was last year. But Manifest v3 will not prevent Brave from blocking ads. We built ad blocking into the browser itself. And again, furthermore, they said, we realize many of our users may still want third-party ad blocking extensions. To give you as many options as possible, Brave will support Manifest v2, such as uBlock Origins, even after Chrome stops doing so. Now, you might be wondering, wait a minute, I know that Brave is just Google Chrome, right? It shares the same base. Remember, Chrome is based off Chromium, which is the open source Chrome project. And because of that, several of the biggest web browsers in the world all kind of run off the same base. Let's look at top web browsers. According to the market share, 63% of the world uses Chrome and 20% uses Safari, which I assume is both on iOS and the Mac. And of course, 6% use Edge. Now, if you want to talk about it, everything aside from Safari, Edge, Chrome, and I guess, actually not Opera and Firefox, or Samsung, maybe Samsung Internet, I'm not sure. These browsers all run off that Chrome backend. But the thing is, if you can't trust Google Chrome, you could possibly trust Microsoft Edge. Again, I always say it's cringy when I see somebody downloading Chrome via Edge. It's like, I used Chrome to download Chrome. But Brave is a very privacy-focused browser, and same for Firefox. So if Google stops supporting a lot of these ad blockers, nothing stops the average person from downloading Brave, downloading Firefox, importing all of their functions within minutes and just switching browsers. Again, I feel like if this really kills ad blockers for Google Chrome, Google could actually hurt themselves in the browser war and allow other competitors to actually win and rise to the top. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to get into it because right now ad block is a pretty hot topic, and there's been a lot of discussion around it. This is something that I do have an understanding of, and I wanted to demystify. Google is not destroying ad blockers, but according to the ad block developers, they're making it harder to operate, which I guess one could say is kind of a slippery slope. But ladies and gentlemen, not something that surprises me. If you care about your ad block and privacy, maybe it's time to reconsider what browser you use. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.